Oh, that's right. I used to be a DJ back when you had to do things with your hands. Now I still have to do things with my hands. Sorry, honey. Here we go. Season ending episode. Interview 32 of season 3. I believe this is episode 176. It's the barrel roller, Matt Bernard. You should call me Matthew, though. I hate Matt. Why did I just call myself what I don't like? And my co host is Rudy Swamp Fox Frias. Rudy, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm just so excited to be here. I feel like I feel like we've reached the mountaintop where I didn't really have to do much climbing to get to the top of the mountain, thanks to all the work you did, and I'm just here. I'm piggybacking to the top of the mountain, so thank you.
We haven't talked about season 4 yet. Oh, backpack's going to be heavy, friend. As here we are ending the season, and we got ourselves a big fish. That's what you call it in the biz. I've seen this man in the vintage baseball community. I've seen this man singing karaoke in his backyard. Uh, I'm
Oh
gonna
my, don't bring that up.
Tom Fesolowich. Am I pronouncing your last name
You
correctly?
got it perfect.
Tom Fesolowich, big bat from the New York Mutuals, but he's from so much more than that. He's one of the gems that organizes vintage baseball because he loves it so much. And I didn't get a chance to sit down and talk with him when I was out there for Old Beth Page. So I get to do it now, and then I'm going to see him in the future. It doesn't matter. I am drinking the apple pie moonshine. If you come to the Ohio Cup, you know that Rudy and I partake in the apple pie moonshine.
You can tell
Mm.
by how much we've had as the podcast goes throughout the day. We're like, wow.
Okay, it's pretty bad. If you listen to our interviews near the end of the day, not great. Uh, okay, Tom, we're going to get into our hour here. I know we're going to let people in after an hour, and you, Rudy, and I are going to ask them each a question. We're going to just have some fun. There's no format. We don't know who's going to come in. It could be one person, could be 10, who knows. But I'm going to start the interview with this. Tom, on social media on August 29th, you made a post. Allow me to read.
Oh damn. I know where we're going.
This goes along with something that's been kind of a topic of conversation on this podcast for the last month. So that's why I'm leading off with it. Let's just get it over with and then we'll move on. I've been resistant for a long time making this post, but today I succumb. In the area of accuracy, there are so many little things we can do to help with presentation, yet many don't. I follow many teams on Instagram and Facebook and constantly see pictures posted of guys wearing wristwatches, Live Strong bands, sunglasses, and sneakers, just to name a few inaccuracies. And to think these are just the ones I see through pictures, who knows how widespread this is? The sport lacks the respect it deserves, partially due to these little inaccuracies. These are all easy fixes. Now, stepping down from my pedestal. You have a bigger pedestal to talk from right now, Tom.
Okay.
We're all on the same page here.
Yeah.
Talk to me about these vintage baseball pet peeves of yours.
Well, that day caught me in a mood, but I follow a lot of teams on Instagram and Facebook, and teams like my team and my league um, post stuff to publicize their teams, and in my opinion, try and get respect for what we do. And I constantly see teams posting people with obvious wristwatches, Live Strong bands, sunglasses. I understand, but you have a choice of what pictures you post on Instagram and Facebook. Why choose these? That's really my main concern. And you're trying to publicize what we do and get a little respect. And I think this is kind of one of the things. I mean, we constantly, when I play at Old Beth Page Village and I run the program out there, get comments from fans. Oh, did they have Nike cleats back then or something like that when we have a new player? And that's the first thing people notice. They always notice the inaccuracies first. I don't know why. Maybe it's a New York thing. I don't know.
No, it's not a New York thing. It's a human thing. It's what we do as humans. We look for the weakness and the soft spot, and I don't know. We go for it. I don't, Rudy.
I mean, excuse me, I apologize. That's a take that we have not really touched upon. Like, you control what you post. Like, there are some unfortunate incidents where like a newspaper will take the picture, and then that's what is made it out into the social media ether. But like, as far as clubs exist, if you're posting this, you can control this. Like, if you recognize that there is a slip up, someone's wearing a watch, someone's wearing sunglasses, shoot people from the waist up if they have cleats on. Like, you can help with this issue that the community is facing, and that's such a simple take that we've just never spoken about. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what gets me most, and I understand the little inaccuracies, and I understand guys, accidentally leaving a watch on and stuff like that. But you don't have to post the picture.
Speaking of pictures, I posted a picture today of a young Big Bat. Maybe before he was a Big Bat or when he was becoming a Big Bat. You got a big H on your chest
Yep.
and a thick bat all the way through the handle. Tell us about this picture.
This is a picture taken by a professional photographer from Florida when I first started playing. I was playing for a village team at Old Bethpage, the Hempstead Eurekas, which was an actual team. And the bat was like a hand carved bat. It was like, I think it was 38. I don't know what the weight was. And the umpire, Gary Monty, gave me the nickname Big Man, Big Bat. And then it got shortened to Big Bat. And no disrespect to the original Big Bat Anderson, because I know he's the original, but and we're good friends. I stuck with the name.
I have a can I tell a quick story about the Big Bat and Big Bats? The first time that I made it to Old Bethpage in 1998 with the Ohio Village Muffins, everyone was like, "Oh, there's another Big Bat," and you're like, "There's only one Big Bat," and then we all met Tom, and we're like, "Nope, he's Big Bat." Like, like you don't argue with a man of Tom's size. You're just like, "Nope, yep, you're Big Bat. There you go." So it was just like wonderful to, like, because Big Bat Anderson means a lot to the Midwest and Ohio, and you already know that, and I think that two people sharing that nickname, and two quality people in the community, I think it just makes the nickname more reverential and important. So I just wanted to. It was just a funny thing because I was just some punk teenager with my brothers, and we're like, "Oh no, there's only one Big Bat," and then we saw you, and we're like, "No, nope, he's Big Bat too. He can be Big Bat too." So
I remember playing against you then, and actually, I remember playing you at the Isle Village
yeah,
at Muffin Meadows. Good times. You were like 17, I think, at the time when
yeah,
we first played you.
yeah. Had no business
Memory
being out
still
there.
intact.
Yeah.
Mine like a sharp tack, Tom. Still hanging in there.
I don't know what I had for dinner,
hair.
but I remember that.
Wait, no. So you said the picture was your first year. When was that?
97, I believe. 96. It was 97. I think it was like my first full season.
Okay.
So we're going to start from your earliest memories of baseball. This has to be something we get into. Your very first memories all up until today. You've got a lot of organizing. You've got a lot of vintage baseball in this. This could take a while, and this is what we want. This is the goods. This is why you're the season ender, Tom. Hit us with every single solitary little detail. Your very first memories as a child of the game of baseball.
Well, that would be playing Little League. I played for a team. They were sponsored. They had sponsors back then. I don't know if they, what they do now as far as but we were sponsored by Minetta Hill Carvel, which was Carvel's an ice cream store out here in New York, very famous. And my greatest memories is whenever we won, we got free ice cream, and that was one of my favorite memories of Little League, and that was way back when I was like 8 years old. So
Let me ask you
around
this:
where dinosaurs were around.
before you start Little League at 8 years old, are you playing baseball around the neighborhood with the kids in the neighborhood, or is that your
Absolutely,
first? Okay,
absolutely.
so I always ask this because this is my favorite question to ask because the answers are so diverse and awesome. You can't get 17 other kids to play baseball in your neighborhood. You can't. It's impossible to do. You gather up as many kids as you can and you adjust the rules according to how many people you have and whatever you have for a field. It could be anything. What did the games in your neighborhood look like when you were that young?
When we didn't have enough people, and believe it or not, we did have, back when I played, we did have like two neighboring areas, not different towns, but they're in the same town, where we did get 18 people. But when we didn't have enough, you'd
Oh,
play half field, where you'd have a a shortstop and a third baseman. Anything to the right of the second base bag was foul. Everything else you had to hit was fair. So lefties are out of luck, bottom line. And you play with a center fielder, a left fielder, shortstop, third base, pitcher, catcher.
you did not move over for left-handed batters. You just told them learn how to hit it the other way.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
You're a
much. We
total
didn't have many
bastard, Tom.
lefties at that time.
So you got to play around like that, like just about everybody. You hit the Little League. Did you follow every level of Little League, or when did you stop?
I stopped at Connie Mack, which was about 14 years old. Um, couldn't hit the curveball. I had a lot of trouble with the curveball. So, nowadays I do play overhand. Well, I have played overhand in the past. It isn't such a problem. But when you're 14 years old trying to hit a curveball, you're always worried about getting hit and that kind of thing. And I just had trouble with the curveball. I get the ball, a long ball, very far, but a straight ball, but not the curveball.
Some would say Jesus Christ couldn't hit a curveball. I've heard
I've
that.
heard that. I've heard that.
Are you saying Jesus
So
Christ can't hit a curveball?
so Tom, you drop out at 14 years old of baseball, and so I assume you didn't continue in high school then,
No, I did not. No, I did not.
and
But we,
so but you were
in
still
the
playing.
in the neighborhood, we kept playing, but we played softball. Um, and like I said, we had two teams, so basically from around the area, and we got uniforms and everything. We sponsored our own uniforms, and we played softball.
And so, boy, you probably went. Did you enter as you came into your early 20s? Were you playing in organized softball leagues?
Yeah, I played competitive softball till I played vintage baseball with a very competitive team from New Jersey, actually. So I had to travel a little bit, and you jumping ahead a little bit. Part of the reason I left, it was the competitiveness was too much and it was too strong, and I came across vintage baseball, and I'm jumping ahead to probably your next question. I came across vintage baseball at Old Bethpage Restoration and fell in love with it and loved the gentlemanly play, I'll say, and the camaraderie, and having looked back.
So
Well, you definitely love the camaraderie. That's for sure.
yeah.
Rudy.
You nailed the camaraderie. How did you come across vintage baseball? Like, if you're playing competitive softball, are those worlds mixing in like Jersey, or like did you see an ad in the paper? What was that like?
No, I didn't. The worlds didn't mix. In fact, they were totally different. But I was actually at the library one day, and that'll surprise some of my friends that I can actually read. And I saw a flyer for vintage baseball, and I called down, and they said come down. And I watched the game, and there's a gentleman named Lip. I don't know if you. I'm sure, Rudy, you remember him.
Yep.
And Lip was playing first base at the time, saw me standing in the crowd, and basically stopped the game, yelled at me, and said, "You got to get in this game and play." And the rest is history.
Just to give you, hey, Barrel Roller, just to give you a little context, when we were trying to pick a nickname for JD, Lip was the first nickname because, like, my brothers and I, we knew Lip, and Lip never met a person that he didn't like to talk to or an opinion that he didn't like to share, and at full volume, and that's like a lot like JD. But we were like, nope, no, there shouldn't be another Lip, so we just called JD Mouth. So yeah.
Yeah, he was. He met his nickname pretty strong. He was definitely allowed.
Yeah.
So the flyer at the library, probably not a very good recruiting tool nowadays. I don't know. I don't think that
No,
would work
not
out
at
for
all.
anybody.
No. Yeah, don't try that one.
What do you do? We're gonna jump around now. What do you do when you're organizing? You organize events, you're in charge of the program at Old Bethpage. What are some of the tools you've used to recruit new players instead of just word of mouth and getting everybody's cousins?
It's difficult because I've been in charge of Old Bethpage for like 20 years now, and we've had our ebb and flows. I mean, we had like, and maybe they'll blame it on me, but like when I started in 96, 97, we had like 9 teams, and we had an overhand league, 1887 league as well. And that was basically started, that buildup was from the Smithsonian magazine that went out in, I think it was 96 or 97, so I was in it. That really helped us recruit. And the baseball strike in 94 also helped, from what I'm told. But we've had ebb and flows where we've gone down, and now we're down to 4 teams, a solid 4 teams. But our recruiting, just to answer your question, which I'll get to eventually, but is we go word of mouth. We don't advertise in papers because, unfortunately, we're under red tape with the village. We can only do so much with Nassau County. So we do flyers. We do. We get TV exposure, which we get a lot of every now and then. The news stations will come down. The Conan O'Brien thing helped a lot. For those that haven't seen, we were on Conan
What was
O'Brien.
while we're there, let's stop there for a second. For one, when I was at Old Bethpage, Gary Monte walked in front of me, and I turned to my wife and I said, "Oh, it's Gary Monte from the Conan O'Brien sketch." And he heard me and he looked at me and he goes, "That's all I'm going to be remembered for."
He loves it. Don't even let him tell you otherwise. He loves it.
He looks the same,
I
except
know
for
he does. Amazing.
the age and the hair, but he looks
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
And but when the Conan O'Brien sketch hits TV, what was it like in the immediate aftermath of that? Was it more media trying to piggyback on that, or
Yeah.
were people showing up to try to be involved?
Yeah. There was a lot of piggybacking on it. We're probably the village is probably one of Long Island's best kept secrets. Everybody I talked to then and now say, "Oh, I remember that place. I went there as a kid on a field trip," but they don't go back. And the Conan O'Brien brought light back to the village, and there was a lot more people did come out and play. And that's kind of when we were at our peak as far as teams. I think we're up to 9 at that point, or 10. And a lot of people did come out and say it. But, we get comments still to this day about that piece. I know a lot of people were in the vintage community were like a little down on it because it made fun of vintage baseball, but you have to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, any publicity is good publicity. He did make a joke of it, but he also says to this day, it's the favorite thing he's ever done. I mean,
Yeah,
that is a number one.
Yeah, he said that's going to be what he wants to be played at his funeral when it happens. That's his favorite bit.
I've been trying to get a hold of Nell for a year now to be on the podcast. So if
Oh
you
yeah.
ever come across somebody who has contact information for her, just kind of slide it to me without telling
Mel?
anybody.
Who's Mel?
Nell. Nell is the woman
Oh,
in the Conan
Nell.
O'Brien sketch,
Oh, Nell.
and
Okay, I thought you said
she's
Mel.
amazing. She's an actress, and I know a lot of the background of her. I've seen a lot of pieces done from her afterwards. She's done some interviews, and I've been trying to get. She probably doesn't want to be found. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've heard stories
okay.
about her, and she was. I didn't get to go that day because it was a Tuesday, and stupid me went to work instead, and I regret it to this. I regret it to this day. But all my friends were, for the most part, in it, and they said she was spot on, and she was in character the whole time, and you know, everything you see on that particular show was pretty much authentic from the spot. It was not scripted at all. I think Conan spent about 6 or 7 hours, believe it or not, at the Village doing that, and everything he did was ad lib. And
Oh wow.
all the people there said that he was hilarious. I mean, as you can see from the piece, but they said there were some things that maybe weren't appropriate that they cut out. They said it was pretty funny.
One of the interviews I saw with Nell is this is like that character is something she created kind of on the spot. She thought about it a little bit beforehand, but we're talking minutes, not days.
Yeah,
And then that character is actually who she acted like the rest of the season at Old Bethpage as the volunteer. So she was that character
yeah.
uh, for the rest of the season. So that would have been
She,
great for people to come
I
check her out.
my dog. Sorry, I heard a story from somebody from the Village that they saw her at a bus stop once in her costume, and they said hi to her, and she was exactly like character. It's like once she was dressed, she couldn't get out of character.
Oh.
I've never seen her in anything else. I guess you've seen more about her than I have, but she was pretty funny.
Back to you, Tom. Let's go through a retrospective of your vintage baseball career. The very first club you hook up with, you referred to earlier as one of the clubs that played at the Old Bethpage program that doesn't exist anymore, I guess, because I haven't heard that name before. But tell us from the beginning of your vintage baseball career, all the teams you played with, all the jumping around you've done, and especially when did you realize that you wanted more to do with vintage baseball than just playing?
Okay. Well, some of the vintage baseball clubs that I played, and you're testing my memory right now. Well, the Hempstead Eurekas was the first team that I played for. In Overhand, I played for the Belmore Seminoles. Um, I played for the Mineola Washingtons. I started on the travel team, the Brooklyn Atlantics. Um, Things happened. Uh, so some of us separated from the Brooklyn Atlantics without getting messy about it, but it's all good now. And we formed another team called the New York Mutuals. And those are pretty much the teams I played for. I'm probably missing a couple.
Well, you probably barnstormed around a little bit and played a smattering here or there when teams needed somebody. At Old
Yeah,
Bethpage at the program, right? So,
yeah, yeah,
are you
yeah.
still involved with the mutuals?
What's that?
Are you still involved with the mutuals?
Yeah, I'm still the president and I still do scheduling. Um, I played one game last year due to my bad knees. That was probably my last season. I don't know. I'm really trying to get back. I've had a knee replacement, so that's it's tough to come back from. But yes, I'm very involved with the mutuals at this point, and I've always told guys that I'm ready to pass it on anytime they're ready. But it's a young crew. Um, Pretty much most of them are 30-ish and under. So I'm still a contact guy.
Uh, 1997 is when you started. When did you start having aspirations of being more involved?
Um, it kind of got thrust upon me. like I said, I went from the Atlantics to the Mutuals, and when we decided we were going to form another team, um, players asked me to um, research that and come up with a plan. And we got thrown a game at the very last through Obeth Page. We got thrown a game in I think it was 1999, a paying gig where we were to go upstate New York, and we were told to do this at like 11 o'clock at night, and we got a team together by 4 in the morning we were leaving, and basically they elected me captain and president of the team, and I researched it a little further and found the Mutuals were an actual team back in the 19th century, and from there, for a couple of years later, Gary Monty said he had enough of running Old Bethpage. He ran it for a long time, and I said I'd take over. And nobody's thrown a coup yet, so I'm good.
If you were in your prime and you could join any team for a season that's in vintage baseball across the country, it couldn't be a team that you've already played on. What team would that be?
The first team that comes to mind is the Canton Cornshuckers. If I was in my prime, I like the way they travel. As the original Mutuals, we traveled a lot. We went to I think it's 17 different states in Canada. But I see the Cornshuckers now, from what I follow, travel a lot, and I think that's a lot of the fun of the game.
The Canton Cornshuckers are a true gem, Rudy. I'll send it to you right after I say this.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of guys that started the team because they just enjoyed each other's company so much and wanted to play baseball with each other. You never see them get emotional on the field. They're always under control because they're having the times of their lives at all times, and they travel brilliantly. And I expect it to go on for another handful of years until Mike Feeney gets a girlfriend that he likes. Rudy?
I think you mean finds a partner that can keep up with him.
There you go.
And I've said it before. Barrel Roller, this is very funny because the very first time that you were on the Vintage Baseball podcast at the very first Michigan Vintage Baseball Festival, I said the Canton Cornshuckers, I was like, they remind me of the Capitals in the early years because we didn't have a home field, so all we did was travel, and like we had the same just like we were full of life.
You still
before
don't have a home field.
well,
You
we
still
do.
don't have a home
We
field.
do have a home
No.
field. It's just
How
not
many home
nobody wants to
games?
come and play us at our home field. Everybody wants us to go to them. So, but no, yeah, they are for me and Big Bad. I mean, we kind of like come from the same era as far as like getting into vintage baseball. They remind me of some of the vintage baseball teams back in the mid 90s, the early 90s that were just like they were just a force on and off the field, but in a good way. So yeah, I would totally agree with you.
Yeah, they absolutely remind me of the early Mutuals, back when they played in the late 90s and early 2000s, and they enjoy it. They've come to our place and played, and they're open to changes and differences, and their open-mindedness is really what I like. But I love the traveling too.
Oh yeah, they were so giddy about playing that overhand baseball game at Old Bethpage. So giddy.
I know, and they kicked ass.
They certainly did. But I mean, if you throw that to a lot of teams in the Midwest, they're like,
Yes.
Like if you threw that catcher's mitt to somebody, to most catchers in the Midwest are going to be like, "Where's the rest of it?"
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You just hit the nail on the head there, Barrel Roller. Like, I mean, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. baseball, Mid-Atlantic baseball, East Coast, they feel a certain way about the way vintage baseball is played in the Midwest, and it hasn't been a secret. And I feel like to have an ambassador in the Midwest like the Canton Cornchuckers that are willing to travel and play the right way and play and just be open into it and embrace it. That they're helping out Midwest vintage baseball more than they know.
Oh, absolutely.
Rudy,
Absolutely.
that
People like them
that reminds
and Corky Gaskell, another person that's helping out a lot in that way. The Zoom diva, if you will call him.
Yeah.
that reminds me of the new tagline Rudy and I came up with: vintage baseball in the Midwest, baseball the way it's never been played.
There are a few teams out there that are playing. I won't say the right way because I don't want to insult anybody, but playing with free stealing and playing the way it was played.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because when I first came into vintage baseball, the Mount Clemens regulars here in Michigan were looked down upon because they played the right rules and nobody wanted to do that. And they couldn't get people to come and play by their rules. And I think to go full circle on this subject matter, I think the Canton Cornshuckers have opened it to where the Mount Clemens has been able to branch out and play some clubs under the correct 1864 rules. So
Yeah,
I think the Cornshuckers have helped in that matter.
that's good. I think I don't want to beat this dead horse, but I think a lot of people that come that come into vintage baseball are coming from softball, and they're coming from softball. And in softball, bottom line is the catcher's probably the least important position in softball, in my opinion, and in regular men's softball. So they put the least skilled person back there, and they say, "How can you possibly catch somebody stealing?" And the bottom line is, according to Chadwick, I'm not going to get too much into the rules because that's not what we're about, but according to Chadwick, the catcher's got to be the best player on your team. He's the most athletic player on your team. And if you do that, you catch people stealing. Now, at Old Bethpage, it's different than the Mutals. We're a variety of skills, a variety of players. We have players from 17 all the way up to 70. And you got people that are no way are going to steal, and you got people that are no way going to throw people out. And yet it happens because it's an even field, even playing field. You don't have, it's not the Hempstead or Eureka's playing against the Canton Cornshuckers. The Hempstead Eureka's would have guys that are 70, and of course it's not going to happen. But if you're playing an even team, even skill wise, yeah, you could throw people out. Yeah, you can curb stealing. And the bottom line is stealing was prevalent back then. People stole at will. It says it all the time. I've read many articles where they say the player made his third after getting a hit, meaning he stole second and third. It's pretty obvious. I'm sorry, I'm beating that dead horse. Go ahead, Rudy.
No, this is fantastic.
That's fine.
Yes. I mean, let's be honest. Like it feels like beating a dead horse because
it doesn't go away.
Exactly. It's still happening. So what is it's repetition is the key to mastery. So like as long as we keep talking about it and we have clubs who are willing to adapt and change, like there will be progress. There is progress. There's more progress now than there was in the 90s. I'll never forget the 98 the conversation on that Sunday. It wasn't a conversation, it was more of a huddle, and tempers were high because there were two very different interpretations of rule set and how to play. And so considering from where we started to where we are now, there is progress, but it's small, and it takes conversations like this and people like you, Tom, to like keep it going. So
it's small. It's been a 27-year fight for me. I mean, I'm at the end of the fight. I'm not fighting anymore, but I understand. but I almost feel like there's two different mindsets of teams out there. There's vintage baseball and there's 19th century baseball, and that's the way I kind of look at it. When people say, "Do you play vintage baseball?" I catch myself and say yes, but I say we play 19th century baseball, which is we play by the rules the way they were back then. And anybody who is listening to this and says, "Well, there wasn't stealing back then," feel free to send me an email or a text or go on my Facebook, and I will show you where there is. But this has been going on for 27 years.
Sure.
Some of the strange things, and people are so. I'll give you an example. People are so resistant to this that I think it was 2004. I'm not sure of the exact day. I think it was the BBVA convention was in St. Louis. I think that was the year. And Eric Miklick and I and another teammate, Stephen Sullivan, went to the convention. And they always had the convention game where you play the old comers game or whatever they called it. And Eric wanted to pitch, and I was his catcher at the time, believe it or not. And which that's a whole other story. But we said, can we play 3 innings with stealing? And we'll show you that people can get thrown out, because I didn't have the best arm, but I was quick. And with Eric throwing the ball as fast as he does, we were able to get people out when we played for the Mutuals. But they said no. They said we're not going to do this, and it's that kind of mindset that it's just like it needs to change, and
it will. Just to let you know that I mean, the Miklick style of pitching has made its way into the Midwest.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say that I was the torch carrier, but I will say that I have gotten so much blowback from people saying you're not allowed to pitch that fast. There's rules saying you can't pitch that fast, and it's a hard conversation to have because you don't want to be rude, but there are people have their heels dug in. And you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very well documented. You could if anybody's read game accounts from 1864 or 1860, swift pitching, as it was called, is very common. And Jim Creighton was one of the first guys to do that, and that's 1860 we're talking about. So it happened. It happened, and just because you can't do it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
We'll just mock those people in the future relentlessly. Maybe just yell wrong to them, and then that's it.
There you go.
Okay, Tom, before we get on to the next subject matter, I want a couple stories. Here's a couple of stories I want to. Yeah, the Mutuals traveled so well. You have to have a mutual travel story, and I also want your best Anthony Canino story.
Ooh, Anthony Canino. Oh I'm not sure I could tell those on the air.
No, you can.
Oh, okay, good. My best travel story. I believe it was also 2004 or maybe 2002. Whatever. We did a barnstorming tour where we actually rented a bus, a coach bus, the Mutuals this is, and we went to 8 different cities in 9 days. I'm sorry, 7 different cities in 9 days. We played 8 games. And we tried to, I set this up trying to recreate the original 8 National League teams of 1876. And we took the bus. We went from Philly to Boston to Akron, which wasn't one of the cities, but we made do. And we with 10 guys, we traveled across the country all the way to Hannibal, Missouri, which was our last 2 games, and somehow made it. But the story that I want to tell is the funny part of the story is we got to Hannibal, Missouri, and one of my teammates was a New York City guy. I'm a Long Islander, and there's a difference. And he's hardcore. And we're walking down Hannibal in the town after playing our 2 games. And I don't like to brag about it, but we won 8 out of 8. And we're walking down the streets of Hannibal, Missouri after our games, and it's Tom Sawyer Days for celebrating, Mark Twain and the Tom Sawyer Days. And they're having all kinds of different contests, and they're having a whitewash the fence contest. And we're on the sideline betting on the whitewash. Who's going to win the whitewash? They're like 7-year-old kids whitewashing a fence. We're betting on that. And my friend, the guy from New York City, is walking down the streets of Hannibal, Missouri, wholesome as can be. You can't get any more wholesome than this event. And he's wearing a shirt that says New York fucking City. And people are parting the ways as we walk down the street. He's wearing this shirt saying New York fucking City.
Oh, man. Moses parting the Red Sea. You didn't have to wait in line anymore. Anthony Canino. Come on, Tom.
Anthony Canino. I got to think about his. I mean, there's a lot. He's Anthony Canino. For those I'm sure have heard on the earlier podcasts, plays for the Atlantics, but he fills in for the Mutuals a lot when we're short, and we consider him an honorary Mutual. And his uncle is Pigtail from the Atlantics. The only thing I could think of for Anthony Canino's story is the fact that he gets naked very easily. That's the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that damn twisted tea.
Who drinks twisted tea anymore? Come on.
But he still drinks tea.
I mean, we're playing in Cincinnati. It was 100 degrees. He's taking his shirt off. He says, "Can I take my pants off?" I'm like, "No, you can't wear shorts." And he's playing in the outfield. And that would be, in general, my best story about it. Hey, Pup, move.
Tom, what is it that you do for a living?
I'm a retired school teacher.
Yeah. So how many years were you teaching? And what subjects?
I was mainly a physical education teacher, although I taught health and computer science as well. I did it for 20 plus years.
What grade level?
So when you're
mainly elementary.
So wait a second. This is my theory, Barrel Roller. This is why he is a perfect leader for vintage baseball, because he can work with children.
I thought it was because he had to teach young boys about their penis.
That too.
Yeah, working with children. Rudy, I think you got it on the nail on the head there. Working with children.
Oh, damn it. Yeah. I thought I won that one.
Right. No, it's definitely we have a joke amongst the Mutuals from the Mutuals of past, which I still keep in contact with, and none of them are still on the team. I'm the only one really left from the original Mutuals, and the Mutuals of the present. That how many? When is Big Back going to quit the team? Always on the second day of the festivals, usually the day I quit the team. And last year, I think, was the first time. I'll send out an email, hit send, and then want to regret it immediately, mainly because I deal with children. Yeah. And if you're listening, Mutuals, I'm sorry, but you know it's true.
School teacher, health teacher. Do you have a teacher's lounge story from when you were a teacher?
I usually didn't go into the teacher's lounge. I'm going to be honest, because mainly because the teachers, all the teachers that I like to bicker and complain, and I wasn't that way. So, I wasn't much of a teacher's lounge guy.
How about this? Nastiest thing you saw in the boys' locker room?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Since we were elementary, we really didn't have boys' locker rooms. Sorry. But maybe as a player, a guy reusing the same jock over and over was one.
Was it because he was winning?
Maybe it was. I didn't ask at the time. I was afraid to.
Tom, do you have any superstitions of when you were playing baseball?
I have the
on a regular
obvious
basis?
positions. I mean, not stepping on the baseline is one that I still do. You don't step on the foul lines. Um, that's one major one that I do, and I will if I'm having a hot streak, I'll stick with it. I have the same bat that I've used for 27 years. I have not broken this bat. It was a Phoenix
What?
bat. Phoenix bat. Phoenix came to the original festival. I think it was '97, and Lefty was there and had a sample bat, and I liked it. It was 35-35, and he said it's really good wood, it's a good sample, and he's explaining it to me, and I said I'm buying it. I bought it, still have it, still use it.
So you have an original Phoenix bat, like with the branded circle logo and everything. That's
Yep, yep,
nice.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I've used it in overhand games too, which I'm surprised it hasn't broken. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Rudy, while we're here, I want to ask you the same question and get your answer for that. Other than losing your hair when you have a good game, was there any superstitions you had?
I've had so many good games, as you can tell. This the streak continues. The I have to talk to. Well, the only thing is I have to talk to one of my brothers before the game starts. Like we, whether it's be safe out there and a little pat on the butt or just I gotta talk to one of them before the game starts.
I got to say something before, not about superstitions, but while I got you on, Ruby, say hi to your dad for me.
Absolutely.
He's a great guy and
Yeah.
one of the original players that I tried to emulate, and he's a tough dude.
Oh my gosh, my dad loves you, man. I literally he was just over here not too long ago, and yeah, I will tell him he thinks the world of you. He loved like being out in Gettysburg. Part of the reason we went back to Gettysburg this year was just to see everybody because my dad hasn't seen people because his playing days have kind of slimmed down a little bit. He gets like one or two games in a year, and so yeah, man, he's still going at it. Loves it so much.
I mean, that's part of the reason I go to Gettysburg now too. Is I'll ump a couple of games, but we usually have a good squad, and I go to see people. And seeing your dad a couple of years ago was great, and
You
seeing all the people you talk to on Facebook is wonderful.
and this was before my dad and Lip obviously hit it off very 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 quickly. And my very first game in with the Gothams in the summer of 2008, I was playing the Atlantics, scared out of my mind. Just I don't know why. I was just nervous because I was like, nobody knew me. No one on the Gothams knew who I was, and no one like Anthony TC knew who we recognized each other, but we hadn't seen each other in what 10 years or so. So he
Yeah.
goes, the first person that recognizes me is the Lip, and I'm out at shortstop, and he goes, I knew his father from back in the day, like screaming about my dad, going on about my dad. And the Gothams are looking at me like I'm crazy because they have no idea that like I've been playing vintage baseball for like 13 years at that time.
Right.
And it was just like my dad, I've been hanging on to his coattails for
You and
forever.
Ian.
Yeah, right. Right.
Do you think that when you finally succumb to the knee and you realize you're not going to take the field anymore, are you still going to stay with the program at Old Bethpage and run that?
Absolutely. I've taken to umpiring a lot more. I enjoy it, and I enjoy educating the young guys on being a teacher. Education is everything, and I enjoy educating people on the history. And I still have hopes that someday all the teams will play by the correct rules.
No, get over it. It ain't happening.
I know I
But
need
I'll
to
tell
get
you
over it. I know.
this. I will tell you this. The event I went to was phenomenal. You were an incredible host on and off the
Yeah, we didn't
Bethpage ground.
talk much. Yeah, yeah. It was all the
You
karaoke.
you have a lovely home. It's perfect for having people over. You must do that a lot, I assume. Do you have any Christmas lights up at your house right now?
No, I do not. I
When's that?
recently I recently redid all the foliage or bushes in front of my house and pulled them out. And well, I didn't do it. I had somebody do it. And I I was like, I got to get out and hang the lights. And I just realized there's no bushes out there. I can't. I put new growth up there. So, and I'm not getting on the ladder.
Uh, no, I'm sorry. You have to find somebody in the neighborhood to hang your lights for you then. You know,
Absolutely.
they have companies. Something I learned
Yeah.
at 50 years old is they actually have companies that will just come and put Christmas lights up and then tear them down and take them away. And you just have to pay for that service. Like, I
You
don't
think
know. It feels
one
like a ripoff.
since I have 4 kids, you think one of them would come over and do it? Nah, that's crazy. Fuck.
Oh,
That's crazy.
do it together.
What's that?
Stupid kids. Why
I
don't they
know.
do it together and make it easier instead of just one feeling like it's their duty? Just come
Uh,
on. If
what
if
are you
all
gonna do?
four of them came over to your house and did it, it wouldn't take that long at all.
Thank you. I'm going to
And they
record
just
this. I'm,
might
I'm,
learn
I'm
something
posting it.
along the way. Tom, if you woke up tomorrow morning and I was laying in bed next to you and I said, you have the power right now to get rid of one vintage pet peeve. It's going to disappear. It's never going to exist again, but you can only pick one because the rest of them are going to get worse. What is the one that you're
Uh,
making universal throughout the country?
wait, the first question is, am I the big spoon or the little spoon?
You're the big
Spooning leads to forking, Tom. I think we all know that. So there's no spooning happening
Oh,
while you're awake.
all right. In that case, it's definitely stealing. It's definitely stealing.
Oh, it's definitely the stealing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got a list. If you want me to pull it out, there's like 100 things on it. But,
God, you probably did have a list at one time. You
I did.
probably were just writing things down and just here, let me ask you, because I remember your post that I read at the beginning of this episode, and I commented on that post with something that really hurt me. And this is going to make me look bad, but I'm willing to go on this branch because I've had a lot of
Oh
moonshine
boy.
and some fireball, and I'm a light date. I'm cheap. Uh, I went to the Ohio Cup and I saw a team full of t-shirts.
I know which team you're talking about.
You do
I,
because
I, I
I've heard of multiple teams that do this.
I'm well. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know the team you're talking about, and I'm not going to mention the team name because I'm not going to pick on them. Um, because I think everybody that's doing this is it's got the right intentions. But the funny thing is, back in that St. Louis convention that you talked about, and maybe this will give away the team. I don't know. One of the persons that was the leader of this group, the group that I'm thinking of, mind you, was talking about how easy it is to raise money for your team, and talking about how they raised $5,000 and everything. And then I looked up the team, and they're in T-shirts, and I figured, okay, it's the first year they're wearing T-shirts.
That just
Um,
made it worse.
I looked it up this year, and they're still wearing T-shirts, and I'm like, what's first of
I'm
all,
curious.
where's the fun in that? You're just playing basically softball. Second of all,
Yeah.
one of the things we do as the mutuals is sometimes we'll play an event and outfit the other team in uniforms. We have a second set of uniforms that we put the other team in for paying events. And the one of the comments we get every time after the games is how cool it was to be wearing these uniforms and how cool it was to be playing these rules. But if they were playing in shorts and a t-shirt or long pants and a t-shirt, you wouldn't get the same response. They love the uniforms, and I don't understand why a team would play in t-shirts.
All right, Rudy, go ahead and share that link on our page, and we can start getting people in. We just won't let them in, and make sure that we're just dealing with one person at a time.
Okay.
So you unmute somebody and then mute them when we're done with them, and then bring in. I don't know if we're going to get 1 or 12. Uh, so, but I want to go back to this, Tom. They raised $5,000. I want to see their tax returns.
I agree. I don't know what to spend money on.
Spending that money on that should be the number one expense.
Absolutely,
Unless they're taking care of travel. I mean,
it's easy to do. It's the first thing you do. I understand there are teams out there, especially out here on the East Coast, where they have to pay for their fields, and or pay. You definitely should be paying for insurance and things like that, but it doesn't equal $5,000. Especially since you can get at Gone Brothers or KP Weaver or so not Mo or whatever it is, you can get them for a song. Basically, it sounds expensive, but it really isn't.
I would say baseball is a game of chess. Why are we playing checkers? And it seems like we really just want to play checkers.
Yeah.
Some people, they just, yeah.
I mean,
all right, I'm gonna.
I'll step up on my pedestal again. I will, and I'll tell you right now that for those that are listening and have teams and know your team is not playing accurately, the bottom line is for vintage baseball or 19th century baseball, whatever you want to call it, to get any kind of respect. And when I say respect, I mean to be considered a sport.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say considered a sport, to actually get on ESPN, which has always been my dream. And
Sure.
to do that, you have to show a consistency. Without consistency, it's just a bunch of different people playing different games. And I've had dealings with John Thorne before, back in the day. And I don't know if we really want to get into that, but I've had dealings with John Thorne before, and part of the reason he's really not on board with this, and some other people are not on board with this, is because there is no consistency, and there are teams out there not playing authentically. Yep. And I just think that's if you're really looking to make this. I mean, for God's sakes, Frisbee is on ESPN. Why can't vintage baseball be on ESPN? And it drives me crazy. Short drive.
I have also had some of the same goals as you, and I have come close. I believe that I had the Uncle Sam tournament at the Frankenmuth Festival was on ESPN. What was that, Plus or 3 or?
Yeah, Plus.
It was essentially the Ocho. Yeah.
And that's about as close as we're going to get. Boy, those were some awful people.
They got years ago. They got the overhand game with the Hilltop Hillies at Pittsfield. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah,
it was an overhand game, but they weren't playing exactly the correct rules. And I've seen Birmingham Barons played a game which was overhand, but they weren't playing accurately either, and it was just like a little, I don't know. We get good responses when we play at minor league parks before, and people are asking questions, and they love to see it. And but I don't know.
Well, this will be a
Rudy,
good transition.
Did you share that?
I did share it, link? And we have 4 people. If you want to go in order, first will be Swampy from Diamond State, I believe.
Yeah. So, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go. We're gonna give Tom the old pepper right now.
Okay.
And as soon as we're done giving them the old pepper, we're gonna start bringing people in, and you will be in charge of who comes in and introducing them and all of that stuff. And we'll do our thing for whatever it takes. Here we go, Tom.
Ready.
When it's Christmas time, and there's a plate full of iced cookies. What is the shape of the cookie you go for first?
Heart.
Name a Christmas song that you do not like.
Oh, Mariah Carey's song, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
How dare you, sir? That's blasphemy. No, I understand.
That's like saying you don't like the national anthem. How dare you?
Oh, you people in the Midwest, for God's sakes.
What is one of the best gifts you ever got as a child?
I would have to say the Atari back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Did you know the guy who invented the Atari also started Chuck E. Cheese? Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Really?
Hey, it's true. Google it. I swear to God.
Oh, I'm definitely Googling.
Uh, when you do put up Christmas lights, Scrooge McDuck, what is your favorite color set of Christmas lights?
Blue and white.
Mets or Yankees?
Mets. Not a fan
Build
though.
build your favorite cheeseburger.
All right. Well, obviously we got cheese, mushrooms, onions, ketchup. That's it.
Favorite Christmas movie?
Um, what's the one with the well, next to Die
Die.
Hard?
It's Die Hard.
I can't remember the name of it. The one where the kid in the bunny suit. A Christmas
Christmas
Story.
story.
Oh, it's Christmas Story. Did you
Yes.
see the sequel, A Christmas Story at Christmas?
No.
I suggest that to everybody. It's
Really?
excellent.
Okay.
It is. They did a fine job. There's a scene in that movie about carolers that I almost was in tears. By the way, Rudy and I are wearing the same shirt.
At the same
It's
time?
a Naga, it's a Nakatomi Plaza shirt, and we did not
Oh,
plan
We
nice.
did
this.
not plan that.
I I don't know what to tell you. Tom, what was your first car?
A Mazda 626. It was. Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. The first car that I bought was a Mazda 626 used. The first car I ever drove and had was a 1973 Ford LTD wagon. Sweet.
What was the what was the first concert you ever went to?
Emerson, Lake and Palmer, 1975.
Oh,
I think that's the second time they've been a first concert for us.
Really?
possible. No, that's impossible.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to have somebody go back and do that work. There's no way. Tom, have you ever milked a cow?
No.
Who was your favorite professional wrestler when you were a child?
Ric Flair.
And who is your Mount Rushmore of New York Mets players personally?
Mets players. Tom Seaver. Uh, Jerry Kuzman. I'm going to say Dave Kingman, even though I know he's not the best. I liked him.
It's your Mount Rushmore.
It's my Mount Rushmore, so I get one more. I'm trying to think of who one more would be.
It's Mookie Wilson.
I like Mookie Wilson. But I'm going to say this for my friend Steve Sullivan, Joe McEwen.
Digging deep. I'm surprised I even know who that is. Tiny to life. Hey, Tom, before we start letting people in here, we want to thank you so much for bringing the knowledge and the class to our season ender for season 3. A true pleasure. I got to spend time with you, something I wanted to do when I was in New York and did not have a chance to do.
I know.
So, thank you so much. It was an honor.
Oh no, it's my pleasure, totally, and I'm excited to be on the show.
Rudy, butter him up.
He says that now until we start letting people in. So
Oh,
I think we got him on record saying that.
You guys
Well,
keep
we're
doing
gonna
what
let
you
people in.
helps vintage baseball.
We're gonna ask them random questions. I hope you guys are gonna think of questions off the top of your head. All 3 of us get one question to ask these people, and then we'll let them talk for a couple seconds if they got something to say. If they don't, we'll just boot their ass out of here.
All right.
Did I just say? What just happened?
Uh,
All right, go ahead, Rudy.
We're gonna start at the top of the list, and it's Swampy coming in.
Oh, my lover, my lover.
We should have them introduce themselves. Just
Yes.
I mean that's what I'm thinking.
And tell them what team they're from.
Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Oh, his audio's connecting. Oh, there he is.
There we go. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Swamp, you got to introduce yourself.
Oh, hey. I didn't know that was addressed to me. This is Jeff Kabasinski in Delaware, Swampy from the Diamond State Club.
Okay, Rudy, ask him your question.
Swampy. Oh crap! It was gonna be like who has the best uniforms in vintage baseball because our uniforms are basically the exact same. But I'm not gonna do that to you, Swampy. Um, um, is it is Oh,
Start,
okay.
Rudy.
Yeah, you know what? You just put it on me. You're the okay. Swampy, let me ask you this. What do you want for Christmas?
uh 24 hours straight where I could just sleep and there's no expectations of me.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, see, now I thought the answer would be hugs with Big Back.
Yeah.
Well, and that too. I
That's
mean, I could spoon with you, buddy.
Oh, see, Matthew.
he's just willing to spoon with anybody. You're kind of a
See?
whore, Tom.
I love him.
Me and Tom,
Tom, ask.
it's more like ladling more than spooning.
Everybody likes a good soup. Probably not that one. Tom, ask him your question.
My question is going to be a serious question. How did you guys get the name Diamond State? Is it an authentic team or is it? I'm just curious.
The name Diamond State allegedly comes from Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. I mean, now a little bit of history here, just briefly. Delaware was originally the lower three counties of Pennsylvania, and they didn't actually separate until after the Revolutionary War. And somewhere in there, Thomas Jefferson refers to Delaware as the diamond estate of the colonies, right? Um, so that's how Delaware generally gets the nickname the Diamond State. And then when you fast forward to 1866 and these bunch of October of 1865, a bunch of these lawyers in Wilmington are putting together a club, and they're like, we're going to be the premier club in the entire state. In fact, and it's just total hubris, we're going to be the Diamond State Baseball Club. So that's how that happens.
Cool.
All right, next question is for me.
I know it's off your focus, but can I ask one more question of Swampy?
Hell, Tom, it's the first guy. You're already stepping over the line. All right, go ahead, Tom.
Just one more. Just one more.
It's your episode. You go ahead.
Okay. Swampy, you're playing right field.
Yeah.
And a big hitter comes up and he hits one down the right field line on a fly. What do?
I chase the ball. Like, dude, I'm
answer is you watch Big Back get to third base, dude. I hit a ball at Diamond State. And I hit a ball. We played down in Rising Sun, and it was Swampy was in right field. And for people that know me, I can go to any field, and I hit it down the right field line, and all I hear is "Oh fuck!" And I'm like as slow as can be, and still make it to third base.
Yeah, well, there's probably some salty language that happens before I do that other stuff. Yes, that's true.
All right, we got somebody on deck.
I love you,
Here's
Swampy.
my question. Here's my question for Jeff. Have you ever lost a toenail?
Lost? I'm sure I have.
Good answer. Next guest.
Swampy, it was so good to see you.
Good to be here.
See, I'm the
Alex,
only one who
Swampy.
questions.
All right, here comes our next guest.
Rudy.
Here comes Tim. Stats, I believe. Numbers. What do they call them?
Stats. Numbers. Yeah, you couldn't say stats. That wouldn't be cool.
Yeah.
Tim, how you doing?
Daryl, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Oh, thank you. A pleasure to have you here. And here comes Rudy's question.
Listen, Tim, let me ask you this question. When you were strolling through the neighborhood at this time of year, what type of home in their light decorations pleases your eye? Like, is there a color scheme? Are you looking for particular characters? What do you think?
I normally like to look at the lights that are overhanging from like the ceiling, like right above the porch and
Oh,
in
the
the
icicle
trees
lights.
and the leaves. Yeah.
Icicle lights. Tom, before you ask your question, just some background on Tim. He travels around Michigan and he does official scoring for random games in vintage baseball. He's a true treasure to the vintage baseball community, and he keeps score correctly,
Yeah.
which
Nice.
is
Well,
a big
my
deal.
home team is the Wahoo Baseball Club of Royal Oak.
Whoa! Enough advertising. Okay, Tom,
Sorry.
ask your question.
Now he does it the Chadwick way.
What is that?
What's that?
You do it the Chadwick way of scoring
I
with
try to.
letters. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. My question: have you ever sang Christmas carols through the neighborhood?
I have not.
Oh,
Okay.
That's too bad. Tim, if you could get rid of one Marvel universe superhero, if you could just get rid of them, who would it be?
Of course, you would ask me the one thing I know the least about.
Yeah, just pick one. You hate them all, apparently, so just pick. If you say the Wonder Twins, I'm gonna come over there right now.
oh.
I'll say Thor just because I want everyone to have focus on someone else.
All
There
right.
you go.
Tim, you have a happy holiday.
You
Thanks
too,
for coming
everybody.
in and you take care of yourself.
Thanks for
Happy
stopping
New
by,
Year,
Tim.
Yep. See you soon on the field.
All right. Next is
You won't see me on the field. You won't see Tom on the field.
we'll see you on the
I guess he was
field.
talking to you, Rudy.
We'll see you on the field soon.
Who's next?
Here
Rudy?
he comes.
Oh, it's a fellow roller out the barrel. Gentleman, Landon Yeti Smith. Landon, how you doing? I haven't seen you in so
Rudy?
long.
Been a little while. Seems like we haven't seen each other since the World Tournament.
Has it been Worlds? Yeah. Are you going out with the Black Flags, the Silver Ball?
I am.
Ooh.
Congratulations on that. That
That'll
sounds like a
hitting,
good time.
We got a bunch of good festivals all planned up. I'll be going to Chicago, be going down to, I think, Nashville, going to the Tulip Festival, going to Gettysburg. Be a pretty good year this year.
Oh, that counts as my question. Damn it. Yeti, you have a great Christmas, and we're going to turn it over to Tom. We're going to go in reverse order. Tom, what's your question for
Oh,
Yeti?
motherfucker. Well, first I need to know what team he plays for. I've seen you, Landon, many times on Facebook.
Play for the Cincinnati Buckeyes and the Black Flags of Droverton.
Okay, cool. Personally, what's the furthest you've traveled for vintage baseball?
Furthest I traveled has been for ball out to Field of Dreams out in Iowa. We went out there this year.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm
Shoot,
from
Tom,
Cincinnati.
6 points.
Wait, can I ask one more question? Because
Go
I'm taking
for
over
it.
the show.
What do you think this is? Circus?
I'm
Yeah,
taking
go
over
ahead.
the show.
Do it.
All right, here's your next question, Landon. You ready?
Ready.
I lived in Cincinnati for 10 years. Skyline or
Oh.
Gold Star?
Oh,
I used to-
this
I
is
used
an
to-
important one.
I am a franchise owner of a Skyline, sir.
Bravo. Bravo.
Oh,
Goodness.
I didn't realize you were such a Mr. Big Shot.
Wow. Nice flex.
I don't really
I don't remember getting any chili in the mail.
turn over all my leaves.
Yeah, you're gonna hold all
I do a little bit of a lot of everything.
It's
What
true,
about-
you do. Now,
Like-
did you print out this franchise on your 3D printer?
No, this is before my 3D printer.
Way
Well,
over on my
before
question limit. Rudy, you've had so much time. I'm sure this is going to be the best question of the night. Go ahead, ask
What's
him.
your favorite color? No,
What color underwear are you wearing, Rudy?
Ooh, underwear. What's that? No. Let me ask you this question because you are a mountain of a man and your strength scares me. Let's say this. There's a runner at second. There are 2 outs. It's the bottom of the ninth. you're up to bat. Who do you want pitching to you?
Well, be truthful in that. I wouldn't mind Big Dog because he's I drill on him all day long.
Yes.
That's the answer we were looking for. Landon, I hope you and your lovely wife that you made sweet, sweet love to at World Tournament, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. And thank you. A little personal message from me. Thank you for going out to all these fields that you travel to during vintage baseball and you do a little video clip of either somebody who's interesting or you've started doing the landscape of the fields to give everybody a feel of what the fields look like everywhere. It doesn't get the kudos from people, but it should because he's doing a service for the entire vintage baseball community. So I want to thank you because I didn't
problem,
really
man.
ask you to do it. I just kind of told you to.
You did kind of just tell me to. Well, I do have a question for Tom, since he said he was Cincinnati.
Okay.
Where'd you live at in Cincinnati, Tom?
I lived in Clifton. I went to Xavier.
Okay.
Nothing for that?
Nothing for that.
He's
It's a little
processing.
like, but you didn't go to UC. You lived in Clifton. You didn't go to UC. You went to Xavier.
No. Well, I actually lived on Xavier campus first 2 years, but then I lived in Clifton.
Okay. I lived in Clifton for a little while too.
Yeah. Up and down.
Yeti, it was so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Take care,
Have
guys.
a happy
Thank you.
holidays.
You guys do the same.
This is going well.
Do we have anybody else?
Oh my, do we have anybody else? There is a line, dude. Okay.
I know. I told you it's Big Bad Show.
Next up is Pockets.
Uh-oh.
Is this an East Coast gentleman, Tom?
No, she's a woman. That's the last I
Oh,
checked.
Pockets. It's Kelly Schultz,
That's right.
right?
Yes.
I at the Old Bethpage Doc Adams Festival, I had Kelly come over and sit next to me, and she didn't realize it, but I was getting her right into an interview, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And then we just went and I interviewed her. She didn't exactly know how much time I was about to steal from her, but
And out of all of your Old Bethpage interviews, Pockets was my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. And so
well, there was stuff in there.
Yeah.
I mean, she was on the architectural team of one of the new towers, and if I remember correctly, was part of the Google building.
Yep.
I think it was the Google building. So, such an interesting person, such a delight. Rudy, what is your question for Kelly?
oh my gosh, during that interview, I was yelling questions out like you could hear me. I'd be like, ask this question. But now you put me on the
question that
spot.
comes to your head. Just
I'm so
ask her.
nervous. I'm so nervous. Mount Rushmore, the Yankee Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
Oh.
Well, that's a good one. Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle. Just
Wow.
five.
she has an old soul. I like it. Tom, what is your question that you've never asked Kelly before?
This is going to be a good one, mind you, and it's going to stir up problems. Your favorite music?
My favorite mutual?
Don't say it.
My husband.
Ah!
Boom.
Ooh.
That's a good question. If you knew the answer.
He thought it was gonna be
Let's pretend your husband's been traded to another team
Yes. Your favorite
for a
mutual.
bag of balls. Somebody finally got a bag of balls from another team for your husband. Who's your favorite mutual?
Legs.
Oh, okay.
All right, my question is this. What do you find about the Christmas season that you and your husband do that you find to be very romantic?
Nothing. During Christmas?
Let me talk to your husband.
He's
You know, make it good.
For my
Let me talk to your
answer,
husband.
most romantic thing on Christmas, not traveling on Christmas
Oh,
Day.
That's true. We host.
Oh yeah.
That's no, that is not. Do you guys do anything? Do you have a tradition that you two do every Christmas? It doesn't have to be anything major. Do you guys go look at lights? Do you go to a certain shopping area on a certain day? I mean,
Not
my
really.
wife watches a lot of these Hallmark Christmas movies, and I'm in the room. I think I'm taking stuff in osmosisly. Is that a word?
Yeah, that's a word.
Oh, sweet. What are you guys looking forward to coming up in the next season on the mutual schedule?
Ooh.
Traveling
I mean, is
with
this
a new puppy.
yeah.
Ooh. Follow up.
A lot of
What kind of puppy?
A beagle. Let me show you her.
Yes.
Happy to show off the
All
dog.
right, here we
I'm a
Show and
sucker
tell,
for
show
a
and tell.
hound.
Oh yeah, she's a hound dog too.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
this is so precious.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at those doggy kisses.
Okay.
All right. Hey, you guys have a happy holiday. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you.
Hi,
Safe.
Paquito.
Hi, Pat.
Oh my goodness. This more people are showing up. Okay.
Okay.
Thomas Fiogelio.
Fariglio.
Fariglio.
Yeah.
So I nailed that last name. All right.
You know how many years it took me?
Fariglio. You couldn't get Fariglio. Is that like Ferrigno? It's close to Ferrigno. Fariglio. Tom, do you know this, Tom?
Yes, he was the captain of the Mutuals. He still plays on the Mutuals. His nickname is Dirt.
All right, we're gonna start with you then. We're gonna have you go and talk to Tom. Thomas, can you hear us? Thomas, are you there? Thomas, answer the phone.
Come
There
on,
he
I
is.
need another beer already.
Yeah, here I am.
Hey.
Oh, it's another one of those karaoke singers. Thomas. Big Bat, ask Thomas your question.
All right, Tom, you're on the spotlight. If you could change one your wife has, what would it be?
What was that?
If you could change one habit your wife has, what would it be?
Going out and getting drunk with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah, that's it.
No, putting away her stuff.
It's not
Put
the
away
shoe.
your damn stuff.
Yeah, the shoes are everywhere.
Rudy.
Tom, if I remember correctly, you are a fellow Fair Foul artiste.
Yes.
Can you pick out one that stands out in your memory as like that was probably one of the best Fair Fouls I've ever hit?
Actually, I could. We were playing in Gettysburg, and I fouled one. I forget who we were playing, but right into a whole crowd of people, and maybe into like some kid's little tent or something. And I got a double out of it, and the shortstop or second baseman complimenting me on it.
Nice.
So it's always good when the opposing team compliments you.
Dude, I'm gonna just take a second here. Hold on, Barrow. When we were playing the Mutuals, he was batting right-handed, attempted to a fair foul down the first baseline, missed on his first attempt, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, can you do that?" And I was like, "Here, where do you want the ball? I'm gonna give it to you there because I just want to see it done." And I think it was a double situation. I think you definitely got a double against the Capitals on that, but it was just like we were just like excited to see it, and I get excited to see other people doing it. So thanks.
Yeah, the other one at the Village, I hit it so foul. We have behind our benches actually there's a shed, and there's bush and stuff, and I got it into there, and I think I might have gotten a home run out of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Last follow up. How many home
Bush,
runs? Ballpark it. How many home runs have you hit off of a fair foul?
Oh, that might have been the only one.
Okay, because I've only got one.
Maybe two.
So I've got one. That's it. So
yeah.
Okay.
My question is, do the gentlemen on the East Coast question your manliness when you do a fair foul like they do in the Midwest?
Aren't they impressed?
No, I think it's mostly the guys from the Atlantic that bust my chops.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. No,
All right,
it's,
Thomas, thank you for-
usually I get a compliment, so that's always nice to get.
Thanks for coming in. We
All right.
appreciate you. Tom, say goodbye to him. Give him
Bye,
kisses
Derek.
and stuff.
Bye,
Bye,
Rudy.
Bat.
Love you.
Love you too.
Take care of you too. Thanks for coming
Okay.
in. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Oh,
Happy
that warmed my
Hanukkah.
heart. Okay, sorry. There are still 9 people in the waiting room. All right,
No, that's all right. It's obvious people like Tom. So let's just keep going.
here
Tom's
comes
a well-liked individual.
Bob.
Hey, Bob. His name's Bob, Tom. You don't know who it is. There's a
I
million
do.
Bobs in
There's
the
only
city.
one Bob out there, dude.
There's so many Bobs. Rudy, this is when you start thinking of your question, by the way. Go ahead and start thinking. Bob, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yes.
Please introduce yourself and tell us your affiliation with Vintage Baseball.
Oh, so let's see. Name's Bob Seltzer, and I guess I'm just a guest player on the Mutals when I visit New York. I'm living in Orlando, Florida at the time. Well, actually, last 20 years or so. So used to get up there about every summer and join the team for a game or two.
Tom, is this the Bob that you were referring to?
Yes, I told you.
All right, Tom, go ahead. Ask him a question.
All right, Bob. Why the You there, Bob?
Was that a question?
I'm there.
Oh, there he is.
There you are. Oh, he's coming in. He's coming in hot on the video. All right, ask it again, Tom.
Why do you root for the Mets of all teams?
The Mets. Wow. I guess it was just from heritage. Mom and Dad rooted for the Mets. It goes back to, I guess, Mom was the boy, was she the Dodger fan? Yeah, she was a Dodger fan, and Dad was Brooklyn Dodger fan. And so where the colors come from? The Dodgers and the Giants, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so when they left town, who else could you root for but what they left behind? And they were the sad losers. You didn't want to root for the Yankees, right? That was too easy.
All right, I got your next question, Bob. I got to give Rudy more time to think. Bob, is it correct that you live in Orlando, Florida?
That is correct.
Is it true that Orlando, Florida is considered one of the safest cities in Florida from natural disasters?
I guess yes and no. I would say yes, but except for we are the lightning capital of the world. So if you want to get struck by lightning, this is the place to come.
So that's bullshit. What I've heard is wrong. Oh, the internet got me again. Rudy, ask him a question.
How could the internet lie to you? Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, Disney did pick its location for a reason in terms of the hurricanes. By the time the hurricanes get to us, it's typically a tropical, a level 1 or a tropical storm. So they did pick it for that reason.
Let me ask you this question, Bob. It's the holiday season, and I think there aren't many seasons in Orlando, Florida. I think there's like hell, hot as hell, and then summer, I think, if I remember. What are you putting out decorations this time of year in Orlando? What's the decoration situation like in Orlando?
Oh, they do. It's pretty much, I mean, actually it's so much easier to do, right? So you're not putting on gloves and parkas to do this ordeal, right? So yeah, I mean, people get really into it. So and it's usually the day, weekend after Thanksgiving till first week in January. So it's a big deal.
All right.
They still do it.
Follow-up question. Are you personally decorating your home?
Not so much. I'm not, I'm a little, I put on the little wreath in front of the door, and sometimes I call it a day. After the kid get older,
is that all
work, right?
Bob, is that all you're wearing at the front door is a little wreath? That's it?
That's it. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
So-
Tom, say goodbye to your friend Bob.
Love you, Bob. Take care. And you get the
All
money
right,
in the
hey, by the
mail.
way, I will.
Yes,
And
good
by the
man.
way, Orlando Dreamers, they're trying to get a Major League Baseball team in Orlando. They've been doing this last 2 years. Go to orlandodreamers.com.
Oh, there's
Ooh,
no plugging
that's
here,
not a-
Bob. There's no plugging.
Yeah,
That,
no,
that's a great plug. It sounded like a strip joint until he said baseball. So I was-
Oh,
Bye,
I'll back
Bob.
that.
Thanks, Bob. Have a good
all right,
Christmas.
Jay, thanks. You too.
And now at Orlando Dreamers, it's 7.
Oh my goodness. All right, we have
Who's next, Rudy?
Andy Limbo.
Yeah.
Limbo.
I haven't had a single one of my baseball friends come in here, and
Oh, they're
Rudy, you haven't
coming.
either.
Don't
This is-
worry. They're coming.
Wait, what
Oh,
are we supposed to
damn
believe?
it.
You have baseball friends?
Wait, you have other
Andy
friends?
Limbo. I am social media friends with Andy Limbo. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. We have no relationship. Andy, are you there? Andy, damn it, listen to me. Are you there?
Red Man.
Andy.
I'm gonna ask Andy to start his
Andy?
video.
Start your video, start your audio, start your engines.
Turn
You
your-
remember Chutes
turn-
and Ladders?
Turn your laptop up. There
Come on, Red Man. Got a beer.
Uh-oh. Nope.
We got nothing from Andy. Andy, we're gonna put you back in the on deck circle. Keep working on it.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. $5.
Keep working on it, Andy.
$5.
We're gonna
Andy
try
walked
to-
away from their laptop. All right, ready? All right, next one. We all know him. We all love him. Here comes Corky.
Do we?
Who is this?
Corky.
Hey, look, it's somebody
Oh.
we're closer to than Tom. I mean, geographically. I guess geographically, we're closer to Corky.
We could count
I
him as
believe I am
Midwest.
the closest. I am the closest, so I will ask him the first question when he gets in here.
I'm here.
Corky, how you doing?
Terrible, thanks, and yourself?
Corky, what'd you think of the time I came into your baseball Zoom with my Michael Myers mask and didn't say anything for 2 hours?
We laughed at it after you left. We made fun of you when you were done.
That was a highlight of my Halloween season. I must tell you, it took everything to not say anything. I just stood there and looked in the camera for 2 hours as Michael Myers. It's really a highlight. Corky, what's your next favorite sport behind baseball?
Probably you playing, or I'm assuming you mean playing. Basketball.
Did
I almost
any
said
of you
volleyball.
other
I
two
almost said volleyball.
hear
I
that?
never did
I'm
volleyball.
getting he's choppy to me.
Basketball.
You said basketball.
Basketball. Okay, basketball. NBA or college?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant for me to play, not watch.
He barrel roller. He thought you meant play, not watch.
Oh, either one, I guess, is what I mean.
I
It's
like
whatever you want to answer.
I like playing basketball. I don't care much for watching it.
I thought you were going to say pickleball. Tom, what was your question for Corky?
My first question is, why is his sound so shitty for a guy that does Zooms all the time?
Yeah, he does a baseball Zoom. You don't sound like this during those Zooms. Let's tell everybody right now that's listening to this. This is not what Corky sounds like all the time on the baseball Zooms.
No,
Is
his
it
Zooms
better?
are awesome.
Is that better?
It sounds like your mic is not selected.
Or maybe he's in a cave.
No.
This is the kind of thing Rudy has to go over with me all the time because I'm incapable.
Well, I'll tell you what. Rudy hears me better than you. I have microphone array or same as system. That's my two options.
Yeah.
All right, Corky, here's your question. Most embarrassing moment in vintage baseball?
Oh, good question.
Vintage.
Good question.
Okay, so this is actually pretty easy. My very first Ohio Cup I made 3 outs before one of the players on my team got a single at bat. Because of that, and they've changed that since now. Ohio Cup, they don't do the follow the last out in the order thing. And so to avoid that happening, because I had, and I think one of them was a double play.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and I kept coming back. It didn't stop me.
Oh my gosh. That's
Rudy.
I mean, that's impressive. Let's be honest. That's not embarrassing. That's impressive. Congratulations, Courtney. I mean,
On
Courtney.
Sunday, my nickname was 3 outs. That's what they called me.
Three
I was
outs.
no longer Goose. I was 3 outs.
Oh my gosh. Let me ask you this question. Has nothing to do with any type of sporting event. I have tasted some of your baking and your cookies, and they are delicious. Let me ask you this. You're going someplace, you got to make a good first impression. You're going to bake something, and what is that going to be?
Baklava.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, good answer. Good
Wow.
answer.
I have been grand champion at least 4 times at our local fairs. I had a gentleman who every year paid me $100 for a pan of baklava so that he could take it to his family. So it's just been one of those things where I learned how to make it, and now people want it.
Is this common knowledge in the community? Do we know that we have a baklava
No.
champion?
No.
Grand champion?
We do not. No, nobody knows this. This is
Like me know that.
Oh my.
Because they
Everybody
talk
knows
to
it
me
now.
and they reach out and ask me questions and
Everyone's going to stop. Everyone's going to stop buying balls from Corky and because they've moved on to something else now. Corky, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I want to say thank you to all the contributions you do to vintage baseball. You are a gentleman and a scholar, and nobody's ever fit those words more than you. So I thank you.
Fine representative of the game. A fine representative.
Thank you, Hank. Tom, it was good to see you. I'm glad you're doing this. It gives me a chance to yak a little bit with you, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon. Rudy and Earl, always good to see you guys. Maybe one day I'll be important enough that I'll get asked to be on the show.
Hey, Corky, plug your Zoom while you're here.
All right, Tuesday night, Zoom, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. We have a great time.
Yep.
I encourage everybody to check it out. Corky, It was so good to see you. Have a wonderful evening and a happy holiday.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Happy holiday.
Baklava.
Baklava.
All right,
I did not see that coming.
No.
Oh my
Well, he's
gosh.
going to have to bring it. We got to find out if he's coming to Ohio Cup.
Oh,
next
he's
year.
coming to the Ohio Cup. All right.
Well, then we got to get some.
Yep.
Robert Seltzer.
That was Bob.
He's on there twice?
Bob,
No.
damn it. How many times do you think you're coming in here?
What is he doing here? Because Bob and Robert Seltzer are listed. Okay.
It's sneaky.
Brian.
I'm impressed.
Okay, wait up. Brian doesn't know he's coming in because I've been telling people there who's next and who's on deck and everything. So we're just gonna send Brian Shaggy in. Here we go.
Nice.
Here we go. Oh, Brandywine Baseball Club.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I don't know who this is. So, Tom, do you know who this is?
Yeah, Shaggy's a great representative of the game. He's the captain of Brandywine.
Oh, you're going to take the lead on this then.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you gotta put your star in the game when the timing's right.
Oh, I'm a starter.
Andy's on deck. Get your shit together, Andy. Okay. Or is it a different Andy?
No, I think it's the same Andy. As
All right, as we're still
Shaggy's
connecting to the
audio is
audio.
connecting.
Hey, if you've listened this long into the episode, we appreciate you. Don't forget, on the 23rd, this coming Friday, we release our interview with Santa Claus. Rudy and I both agree it's the best thing we've ever done. So make sure you're checking that out. Brian, from the Brandywine Baseball Club, here comes your first question from Tom.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, I see him. Okay. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
Wow, the hair's getting long there, dude.
Yes, it is.
They put me on the spot. Usually, I'm going to pull a Rudy on this one and think a little bit.
Oh, geez. Or we'll skip you. I'll start with Brian. Brian, for one, your hair does not look manageable at all. Two, I noticed that you're wearing a silicone wedding ring. When you got married, did you go with the normal wedding ring and say, I can't do this, and switch to the silicone, or did you start with that?
I started with the normal wedding ring and then I switched to the silicone because it is just, it was getting all dinged up and messed up. So silicone was the way to go. Plus vintage ball. I don't dare wear a metal ring.
People are
All right,
crazy
so
that
note
wear
to Tom
their
and Rudy. No,
Yeah,
Rudy,
I'll give
you be
Tom some more
quiet.
time.
Note to Rudy and Tom. This is how you do that. That's how you ask questions on the fly. You guys are still thinking.
I got a brilliant question. I have a question of all questions.
All right.
Anyway,
I apologize.
Okay,
Rudy, the floor is yours.
I want to get on board silicone wedding band. It's like I have a real one and I wear it for special occasions. So this question that I've had on deck is so do you condition
question for Rudy? No, question for Rudy.
Yeah.
Is this podcast a special occasion?
Yeah, no.
No. Okay, back to your question for Brian.
Oh, hey, Brian, what's your favorite color? No, I'm joking. Brian, I heard through the grapevine that are you running or in charge of the Brandywine Baseball Club?
I'm in charge.
When did this happen? And was this something that when you got into vintage baseball, you're like, one day I want to be in charge?
No. It happened in 2013. I found a post about vintage baseball that was from the Diamond State Baseball Club, and I went to one of their games, their last game of the season in 2012 to check it out. And they were like, hey, so we're looking to start a club in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Here you go. And it all was just dumped into my lap and I had no real choice. So it was just kind of handed to me.
Brian, what did your hair look like in 2013?
Not this long, that's for sure.
It wasn't as glorious. Okay.
No,
Tom, question for Brian.
Fucking Rudy took my question. What the hell?
Oh, is that the game we're going to play now? Is that what we're
playing? All right. All right, Brian. Favorite place you went on a vacation to?
Oh, I would say Singapore.
Oh,
I loved it.
Oh,
yeah.
No, tell us more. Tell us more.
Well, it started as work and then it turned into a 2-week vacation with my wife. I worked for a solar company, a German company out of Conshohocken, Pennsylvania, and they had opened up a plant in Singapore, and their unemployment level is so low that they struggle to actually get people to come in for new jobs. So to offset that lack of production, they sent a couple people from our plant over to work for a month. So I got to work over there for a month, and then my wife and I spent a week or two over there, and we went there. We went to Malaysia. The American dollar went a long way at the time. It was like a little over double one of the Singaporean dollars. So it was a good time.
You had me thinking you were the smartest person in the world until you said Singaporean.
Hey, you said osmosisly earlier in this podcast for a roller.
No. Hey, I no defense. Hey, Brian, thanks for coming in. Happy holidays. A Merry Christmas to you.
You too.
Merry Christmas.
Good luck on the season coming up for Brandywine, and we all wish you well.
Thanks. Later, guys.
All right. So do you want to try Andy one more time?
Oh, motherfucker.
Let's
And
let's see
then
what Andy's up to.
we can do Andy, and then we have a very special guest. Okay,
Oh,
Uh-oh.
here's Andy. Let's see if
I
Andy.
like being titillated. One of my favorite things is being titillated.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
I'm concerned. Okay, hang on.
Why?
You'll see. You're the co-host. You can see who's in the waiting room.
I'm not looking. I only see us three. I don't tend to hit buttons because
Okay,
I'm
fair
afraid.
enough. All right, so I just did. Okay, I'm gonna. Andy's in here twice. Andy, if you're listening, I admire your perseverance. I'm gonna try the other Andy. Okay, here we go. Let's
Try
see.
the other Andy. Try the
Here we
other
go.
Andy. Let's see what we got here. This
Okay,
better not suck, Andy. Are you in here?
Andy's here.
Andy? Andy? Unmute your microphone. Okay, we're gonna get video.
Uh-oh.
And then Andy, say something.
What's going on here?
There he is.
Oh, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
There we go.
Did you hear the part where I'm out of beer?
I just dropped my beer, so I
Oh,
don't think I can open it now.
rookie.
So my
I got my
question for
nice-
you, Andy. No, don't say another word. No.
Trash can banger.
You're ruining my
making fun of the
question.
Astros.
You are ruining my question. Do
My
not do
bad.
it, sir. Andy, tell me the beer that you're drinking. give me a full review of that beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a minute to open it, but it's called Trash Can Banger. If you can notice, it's the old Astros uniform, and it's hopped with 2017 hops.
Oh my gosh, that's
So
And it's canned with bad decisions and evil.
yeah, well, yes, pretty much.
But
but
when you hit it, it makes a loud noise.
Yes. So I'm just glad it didn't explode at me like the last one I dropped.
oh my
Is the microphone that we're talking to you on your chest, taped to your
No.
chest under your shirt? Okay.
No, it's not.
Rudy, question.
Andy, thanks for joining us. Let me ask you this. It's the holiday season, and Barrel Roller has been asking during give him the old pepper, what's one holiday Christmas song you're tired of? I want to hear one that you get pumped by, one you want to hear.
Okay.
Yes.
There's actually two.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, good.
My favorite Christmas song of all time is by Billy Squire. Christmas is the time to say I love you.
Yes.
Deep cut.
But, yeah, but my second favorite one, and it's not even a safe for work Christmas song. It's called Merry Xmas. Sends you text message. And it's basically about a woman that breaks up with her abusive boyfriend, and he says Merry Xmas, and she goes, "Oh, fuck you," or "F you."
Wow. Wow, good cover up on the swear word. You just cost us $10,000. Tom, what is your question for Andy?
Motherfucker, that cost you $10,000. There you go.
Oh, whoa, we are a family show once in a while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Today, but we're once in a while.
I know Andy, so I'm trying to think of a question. Favorite place to play, Andy?
Oh, good one.
That's a tough question because I don't want you to hurt it.
Tough question. I really like playing in Gettysburg because of the historical reasons of it. But my favorite field is probably the one in Pennsylvania. I don't remember the one town, but it's the one with the corn in the outfield.
Oh, is that Mohican?
Yeah, Kennett Square.
Kennett Square?
Yeah, Kennett Square.
Yeah.
I've seen
Andy.
pictures. Yeah.
Andy, we had a pre-meeting before this Zoom, and you're supposed to say Obethpage Restoration. That was the deal.
Well, you should have told me that on the side.
I did. Can't even get on a Zoom, dude.
Damn it.
Andy, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. Good luck next season. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year.
Take care.
Take care of
Have a
yourself.
nice-
Bye, Andy. All right, so this is gonna be the last guest.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh, boy. I'm gonna be shocked.
I knew this would make you very happy, Barrel Roller.
Here it comes. I want to write. Can I write down what she's gonna say?
I can't see who it is.
It is my lovely and patient and understanding wife, who is currently parenting a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old upstairs. I'm gonna ask her to unmute. Give me 1 second.
Please unmute. I've written down what I believe I'm about to hear.
I've got a load of questions for her, Rudy. A load of questions for her.
When I explained to my wife that we would be putting the Zoom link out to the public, her first question was, "Where can I find it?"
No.
So I'm hoping that she's forgotten, and that one of the
I got a
children.
question for her.
No, I think the
No,
children.
I've got a question.
No, I think the children have taken
they
the
taken
phone.
the phone from her?
I think.
And
Well,
there's nobody else in line. Everybody else is gone.
wait up! I hear her. Oh no!
Oh, she's coming down to give us the personal treatment.
Oh. Yay!
Wait, you gotta turn.
Here it comes. Did she write you a
Hang on.
note?
All right, Hop. I feel like there was a question.
We all have questions for her. She started to come into the Zoom. We all have to ask her a question. I mean, that's the rule of the Zoom.
Dad.
I have a question for her.
Oh, they have questions for you. So
Yeah,
the
no, we
first
all
question.
do. You do too. So.
The first question was.
I can't
what was
see
it,
her.
Javi?
When is Dad going to come upstairs?
When is Dad going to come upstairs? Well, you are officially
After
the
these
last
questions.
guest. All right, so you have they have questions for you now. So
First, I want to announce what I wrote down as to what she was going to have her message be. My husband has to come upstairs. All right. So I just didn't read that. That happened. Michelle, here's my question for you. You're a vegetarian. So for Thanksgiving, you have a tofurkey.
Yes.
But traditionally, for the Christmas holiday, a ham is what you would come across. I asked Rudy this question last week, and he said you just go ahead and have another tofurkey for Christmas, but I didn't believe him. What do you have for Christmas?
It's true. We double up on the tofurkey because they're so delicious.
That's not why you do it. Is there just nothing else? Is
Mostly
there
we
no
just eat
ham?
Christmas cookies, to be completely honest.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. So you double up on the tofurkey. Okay, that was a serious question. I didn't know if there was. I know it sounds like a dumb question, but I didn't know if there was an equivalent to ham.
There's not a tofu ham yet, but it could be $1 million idea, Barrel Roller. So
Are they working on it right now?
I
Okay.
think they are.
Tom, is there a question you'd like to ask Rudy's very classy wife?
We might need an hour show for this answer. Okay, but I'm going to say it now. Why Rudy?
Oh yeah,
Because
you're right.
he's so handsome and I love vintage baseball. So I was like, wow.
All right, no,
Full package. And he podcasts. I mean,
no.
He's the whole package here, folks.
Oh boy, he is.
Well, that's not true.
I'm in so much
the
trouble.
first part. The second part's true. The second part's true. But no, Michelle, that's okay. All right. Well, let me take this time as we end this episode. Thanks for everybody out there for listening to 3 seasons of this stuff. Season 4, Rudy and I have committed to. We're going to go through season 4 and bring you everything there is to do with vintage baseball that we can. Don't forget this Friday we have Santa Claus being interviewed. It's the best thing we ever done. Next year we have committed to the Akron Cup. Oh, by the way, breaking news: the Mightiest Striker and the Gingerly Gentleman are happening at the Akron Cup. That's not completely final yet, but it's really close, so I'm going to announce it. What else? This is the last episode of the season, so you'll see us in February. You're going to get some movie podcasts in the meantime, but no vintage baseball until February. We want to take this time to thank Tom,
Thank you.
Bat from the New York Mutuals for classing up the joint and giving us a proper send-off for season 3. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Thank you. Keep it up the good work.
Thank you. Rudy, I want to take this time to thank you for coming on to this endeavor halfway through the season and doing your thing, making it better. Here we are. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, this is great. Tom, thank you so much. I mean, I consider myself very lucky to have met you so many years ago and continue this friendship and this relationship. Barrel Roller, you are a gem to the community. I am so lucky to be a part of this. And we on behalf of Big Bat and the Barrel Roller, we want to wish everybody a happy holidays out there. And we want to remind you to keep it station to station. And we'll see you out in the field.
That's all Tom and I can do is go station to station. That's all we got.
That's it.